Spring is in the air, and love blossoms in all forms at Horizon Theater's Southbound, Love in Full Bloom. With your hosts, Brittani and Megan. Tonight, we feature music from Skylar Brown and tales from two storytellers, Gillie Jones and Topher Payne. And now, the April 2022 edition of Southbound.
She don't got a lot to say, but there's something about her. And you don't know why, but you're dying to try. You wanna kiss the girl. Yes, you want her. Just look at her, you know you do. It's possible she wants you to. There's one way to ask her. It don't take a word, not a single word. Go on and kiss the girl. Sha-la-la-la-la, my oh my, look like the boy's too shy. Ain't gonna kiss the girl. La-la-la-la, ain't that sad? Ain't it a shame? Too bad he's gonna kiss the girl. But now's your moment. Floating in a blue lagoon. Oh boy, you better do it soon. No time will be better. She don't say a word, and she won't say a word until you kiss the girl. Sha-la-la-la-la, don't be scared. You've got the mood prepared. Go on and kiss the girl. Sha-la-la-la-la, don't stop now. Don't try to hide it. How you wanna kiss the girl. Sha-la-la-la-la, float along and listen to the song. This song to kiss the girl. Sha-la-la-la-la, the music play. Do what the music say. You gotta kiss the girl. Go on and kiss the girl. You wanna kiss the girl. Go on and kiss the girl.
Let's give it up for Skylar Brown. Yes. Welcome, everyone. I'm Brittani.
And I'm Megan, and this is Southbound, True Life Tales.
From the ATL and beyond.
Welcome, we're back in person.
Yes. Episode 8.
Yes, guess, you know what it is, Brittani?
What, Megan?
It's our Southbound anniversary.
Oh my God.
It's been 1 year, you guys, remember? And we didn't even officially meet in person until several months in.
That's right. Just zooming. Yes.
Yes, zooming.
As most of you all know.
Yes, lots of Zooms.
Yeah. Oh, we're so excited for our show tonight. We have two amazing storytellers. Our beautiful musician, Skylar Brown.
Yes. All with the theme, Love in Bloom.
That's
because it's
right.
springtime. Yes.
Oh, and Megan, also we have like this secret surprise. We're going to show this film.
We are?
We are.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that maybe you wrote, directed, produced. Yeah.
What?
Are you guys excited? Yeah. That's pretty cool, Megan. That's pretty cool.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
So our show runs about 80 minutes.
Yep.
No intermissions.
No.
So
please turn off all your cell phones.
yes, please silence all cell
This
phones.
is still the theater.
Things that go bump and beep in the night. So many people filled out.
I know.
Their favorite crush, your favorite spring fling, all the
Yeah.
things. Do you have a favorite spring fling, Brittani, or crush?
Oh, yeah. I have a great spring fling, Megan.
You do? Seriously?
Yeah, I do. So, don't tell my husband, but
Yes.
I had lived in LA for just like a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, see, surprise.
Oh,
and I fell really hard and fast for this rapper with a record deal named X2.
Seriously?
Yeah. And he no longer has a record deal. Okay, end of that story.
Is that he was your fling?
Yeah.
Oh,
in the spring.
Oh,
You
I
didn't know?
love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yes.
Do you have a first crush, Megan?
I actually have two first crushes,
Okay.
and I feel like this tracks if you know me.
Okay.
My first two crushes were Mork, Robin Williams, as Mork. Yes. And my lifetime crush that started as a child, Steve Martin, Wild and Crazy Guy. And still, Only Murders in the Building. I still love him. Yes.
He's my favorite dad. Father of the bride.
Great.
Oh, okay. Good talk, Megan. Good talk. We're winning. Let's read some of the audience answers.
Yes, let's do.
Okay.
All right, so who is your first crush? Oh, yes, Sean Cassidy.
Oh,
Yes,
great.
I mean, who didn't?
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Oh, okay. Buffy the Vampire
Not
Slayer.
bad. Yeah.
Oh, I love this. Yul Brynner. Who? Yes, King and I. Do you know? Is that? Yeah, before. Yes. Actually, my mother took me to see Yul Brynner do the King and I at the Fox. Anybody?
Oh.
Anyone? Yes. Jeff Adler's he's applauding just as sympathy.
Okay. Paula Abdul. Okay. Then I came out of the closet and admitted it was Joey McIntyre. Great answer.
Yes. We give all the crushes. I have a spring fling. What was your favorite spring fling in a Panera bathroom? What? Oh, okay. Kind of fun and a little dirty.
I know. We need to check that Panera's rating. I'm just saying. Okay.
100%.
Okay. I have one more spring fling. Okay, meeting my sweetheart, who is now my husband. Aww. That's sweet. At a dance weekend in Asheville, he swept me off my feet and we waltzed on a Saturday night.
Oh my gosh, that's so romantic.
That is really nice.
And it really happened.
I know.
Unlike Steve Martin, which is all in my brain.
I like that rapper. He doesn't have a record deal. Okay.
On that note, should we bring up our first story?
We should, yes. Megan, will you do all the other stuff?
All the things.
Perfect. Our first storyteller this evening is Miss Gillie Jones. Come on, yes. She stars in The Curse of La Patasola, which I saw on Amazon Prime. A horror feature released theatrically by Vertical Entertainment in 14 cities nationwide and currently streaming on video on demand, again, Amazon Prime. Okay, The Curse of La Patasola and her performances have been featured in major publications such as Deadline Hollywood, IndieWire, the AJC, and Arts ATL magazine. Jones currently splits her time between Atlanta and Los Angeles. She is the co-owner of the feature film production company Renegade Creative and was the co-founder of Nova House, which helped solve a large problem of financial inequality in the entertainment industry by offering a membership-based taping service in a communal home for actors in Atlanta. Guys, give it up for Miss Gillie Jones!
I'm like sweating a lot, so it's fine. I can't get them. Skylar, you said you were gonna do this for me.
I'm sure. No, because you don't want it where I'm gonna need it.
That's true. He's just given a hint here. I'm a big romance novel fan. My mom read a lot of Nora Roberts while I was growing up. And she kind of passed on that love of romance novels to me. And then historic romance is a big favorite of mine. My dad gave me this amazing romance book on Mary, Queen of Scots when I was 12. It read more like a porno. So I had a lot of questions after I read it that I didn't want to ask my dad. But thank you, Dad. I learned a lot. So when Brittani asked me to kind of come up and talk about my dating life, I really kind of felt like I could tell it in 3 romance stories about myself. So the first romance book I'm going to read to you guys tonight is called Jane Eyre. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Gillie who was obsessed with finding the one. She even wrote out a list of the qualities that the one would have. loves dogs, enjoys fishing with her dad, willing to wear the Phantom of the Opera mask and only the Phantom of the Opera mask. And when she got a crush on a guy, she would pull out her list to make sure he had all of those qualities. And if he didn't, she would make sure to note that that missing quality was not actually important. Now, she had a lot of crushes all throughout middle school and high school and college, but never a boyfriend. You know, sure, she went on a couple dates here and there, but there was never an actual commitment or official title until Kyle. Yes, Kyle was perfect. He was nice, and he liked her back. Now, Gillie and Kyle enjoyed talking for hours on AOL Instant Messenger. They texted, they talked on the phone, because Kyle did not live in the same city as her. They had gone to the same high school but different colleges, and they kept in touch because they were both in the entertainment industry, unlike most kids from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Kyle wanted to be a music producer, and Gillie wanted to be a producer and an actress. And Gillie found it was nice having somebody from her hometown who also understood the crazy industry that she was in. So fast forward 4 years of on and off talking and liking each other from afar and not being able to commit to anyone else because, well, what about Kyle? So she moved from Los Angeles, California to Nashville, Tennessee, because she was an actress. And it made sense for Kyle. Kyle, who was her first official boyfriend, and yes, it was Facebook official. And Gillie was finally going to live in the same city with her fairy tale prince. 1 month after she got to Nashville, he broke up with her. And he had never taken her on a single date because he was too busy in the music studio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to spend any time with his official girlfriend who had moved across the country for him. Of course not. So here Gillie is in Tennessee, trying to be an actress. And 2 days after the breakup, she booked her first role in a play. And then she booked a role in a musical 1 month after that. And then she was promoted to be the director and lead actress of the murder mystery company in town, which quickly turned into her being a national manager of 25 cities and over 1,000 actors and, making a living as an entertainer. And she got her first agent, and she lost 10 pounds and looked hot as shit. So there you go. Yes. And met her 2 best friends in the entire world. So thank you, Kyle, for getting the fuck out of Gillie's way and letting her actually focus on herself the end. Now, the second book is called 50 Shades of Shit. Okay, now, let's see, where does it start? Yes, Gillie was very happy in her life and career, and she was ready to start finding her real Prince Charming. And that's when she met Skylar. Skylar. Not that Skylar. Skylar was cute. And he let her take his virginity. And of course he got hooked on her. And he became official boyfriend number 2. He was funny, he took her out on dates, they always split the bill. He was an actor-director who wanted to make movies, and he liked to have sex. Lots and lots of sex. And about 5 months into their relationship, Gillie got an amazing job offer from the murder mystery company she was working for to move to Atlanta, which, as we all know, is an amazing city for actors to be in. So she took it. And Skylar wanted to stay in Nashville because he wasn't actually an ambitious person, and they decided to do long distance. Now, 2 months after moving, she realized that she needed to get a second job to be able to afford to live in Atlanta. Yes, it is a very expensive city. So, yeah. So she ended up with 2 40-hour-a-week jobs, plus auditions that came in from her agent, And she also had to find time to drive up to Nashville to see Skylar because he had a super, super old car and he couldn't make the drive to Atlanta. So she had to go. And it was a lot, and she was tired. And that meant she wasn't really always in the mood to be romantic. But that was unacceptable because Skylar had his needs, and they never saw each other. He's a winner. Again, not that Skylar. Gotta clarify. So this went on for about 6 to 7 months, and the breaking point for Gillie came when they were talking about Skylar's dad. His dad had been fired from his job and had been on unemployment, but, you know, he couldn't find a job that he liked. And she suggested to Skylar, well, maybe he could get a job for the time being, you know, like at a grocery store or being a waiter, because he still had 2 kids living at home that needed to eat. And Skylar's mom was a painter, so she didn't really make money, steady income. And his parents were starting to get stressed about how they were going to make ends meet. And so she asked, why does it matter if your dad likes his job? You know, if he needs to put food on the table for his kids. And Skylar looked Gillie right in the face. And he said that having a job that you're happy in is more important than feeding your kids. True statement. So she ran. Yeah, very fast. And that was hard because Skylar was her best friend, believe it or not. And Gillie did truly love him at the time, but she learned that day that love is not enough. And there was no more respect that she had for Skylar, and it was definitely a more difficult breakup than the one that she had with Kyle, but it was necessary. And so Gillie was on her own again. Will our heroine ever find real love? Let's find out in Sense and Sensa-Gillie. 1 week after Gillie broke up with Skylar, she got a $20,000 a year raise from the theater company she was working for, so that she could quit her second job and only work 40 hours a week instead of 80. And it was in the industry she wanted to be in. Gillie was able to move from Roswell to West Midtown, so she actually started enjoying living in Atlanta, and she made friends in her new city because she wasn't driving back to Nashville all the time, and she started focusing on herself again. Gillie realized that when she wasn't in an unhealthy relationship, she stopped doing a lot of, when she was in an unhealthy relationship, she stopped doing a lot of what she actually loved to do. So she started working out again and eating healthy, and she got to spend time with her dog without her boyfriend getting jealous. Yes, that happened in Ladies Run if you have a man jealous of your dog. And after everything was said and done, Gillie realized that breakups are fucking awesome. Both of her major breakups were immediately followed by amazing career changes, losing weight, and meeting awesome new friends. So the lesson for my fellow actors out there, it's okay, this is for you too, Brittany.
Oh, okay.
Don't tell Derek I said this.
Okay.
But if you need like a bump in your career, don't take new headshots, don't pay for casting director workshops, break up with your significant other. It works.
Noted. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, give it up for Gillie Jack.
Gillie, that was very funny and great. You know my husband, so that's hilarious.
Was true.
And it was all true.
All true.
Gillie, please tell us what is next for you on the horizon.
Oh God. Well, I'm married, so that's good.
Oh yes,
Well, found one that stuck. And there goes my book. Yeah, right now our feature is out in North America. We're going to be taking it to the Macabro International Horror Film Festival in Mexico City in August, which I'm really excited about. I've actually never been to Mexico. So hopefully worldwide sales. And then AJ, my husband, and I are also in pre-development for a couple different feature films that we're hoping to film in Atlanta next. Yay, Atlanta Films! And theater.
Also, would you consider down the road coming back and continuing your romance novel books for us? Yes.
Yes.
We need more sequels. Maybe about marriage, right? Don't you think so?
Yes. I can do that.
Yes.
Right, AJ? Yeah.
Only if I can come too.
Oh, so sweet.
He
so
can
sweet.
tell my side of the story.
Yes.
Not his.
He said, she said.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Gillie.
you,
Yes,
Gillie.
one round of applause.
Are we ready for our another musical? We ready for the next?
I think we
so. All right. Yes. So now performing an original piece, Skylar Brown is an Atlanta-based actor, singer, and musician. He was last seen on Horizon's stage performing as Speck in the favorite musical Once. Who saw Once? Anyone? Such a gorgeous, amazing show. Other Atlanta credits include The Color Purple at Actors Express, The Addams Family at The Lyric, and currently he is in The Pretty Pants Bandit. Yes, at Georgia Ensemble Theater. Skylar also tours the Southeast with his band, My Brother Skylar, singing and playing guitar, and you can follow his music and exploits on Instagram at Skylar is Brown and at My Brother Skylar. Give it up for Skylar Brown!
So my first song is about a girl named Gillie that I used to date. Okay, so a couple things about me before I do this. One, I don't remember the lyrics to any song ever written, so I will be cheating even on a song that I wrote. I'm sorry. Two, this is, when when Brittani first asked me to do this, she was like, oh yeah, we're gonna be doing this love thing, and I was like, Brittani, I'm a sad boy. I write sad boy songs. So she was like, no, it's fine. It's gonna be like love, lust, loss, and things like that. I was like, okay, I can do that. And then we get here today, it's like love in full bloom, and I'm like, shit, what have I done to myself? So I have one song, one sad song sung happy, and then later it will be sad. So. But I wrote this song pretty fresh after my most recent breakup, which was the worst breakup. What can you see from the other side? Was it as green as you'd hoped? A big, bright, sprawling field where you don't have to feel what's real. How do you feel from the other side? Now that you've gone on your way, at the end of the day, was it worth it to say goodbye? I say the same thing every day. Could I have done more? Could I have said more? I hear those voices every time you leave. But to me, it's always been you. Nothing but you. Forever on my mind, you're one of a kind. It's always been you. Are there regrets on the other side? Now that you're out in the world, did you make the right choice, or do you constantly voice, what if? I have the same thought every night. Well, should I hang on, or should I move on? If I could just talk to you, I'd let you know it's always been you. Nothing but you. Forever on my mind, one of a kind. It's always been you. always been you, you, you. Forever on my mind, one of a kind. It's always been you. It's always been you, you, you. Nothing but you, you, you. Forever on my mind, one of a kind. One of a kind. It's always been you. Thank you.
Well, Skylar, that was so beautiful. Well, I'm really glad I told you you could be a sad boy because that was beautiful. Yeah. Yes. So, Gillie, it's the inspiration of that song. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
It was a hard time for Gillie and I.
It was a hard time.
Our separate breakups.
So, Skylar, tell us what's new, what's happening, what are you doing?
I am currently moving back to Atlanta. I moved away. My dad had knee replacement surgery, so I went back home to help him and my mom around the house just to be able to live. And then I was going to be moving to Nashville with my brother to focus on music. And then my brother bought a brand new car and, you know, no longer had money to move. So. But the whole time that I was back home in North Carolina, Atlanta kept hiring me for things. So it kind of just made more sense to come back.
We're glad you're back.
And yeah.
So talented.
So that's why everybody looks so pretty and I'm in shirts and, you know, jeans. So
Look great. Look great.
You look great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Definitely on purpose.
What show are you in?
Oh, I am, as we mentioned a minute. Yeah, Lisa, keeping us on track. I love that. Currently, right now, if you saw our production of Once, the guy who played the lead, Chase Peacock, and one of the other girls in the show are composers together, and their third original work is currently having its world premiere in Roswell right now at Georgia Ensemble Theater. So,
can you tell us a little bit about it?
yeah, it's based on a true story of a not so true, a fictionalized. So there was a woman in the 30s who hit up a bunch of I'm in the show. I should know this so much better. Fronts. That's the word I'm looking for. Business, like fake businesses that are hiding mob money, and she goes to do it by herself to rob these places by herself, and she can't do it, so she finds 3 guys to come in and help her with these robberies, and then throughout the show she finds love. We all fall in love with my character because I'm amazing, and so yeah, it's just her. They call it the Pretty Pants Bandit, and at her first robbery, she has this epiphany that she's tired of the men, you know, doing all this thing, so she wants to embarrass them for a change. So she puts, you know, guns to them and she makes them drop their pants. So
yes.
So that becomes her calling card. Is
that part true?
Yeah, that's actually a true part of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's pretty and she's a pants bandit, therefore. It was also very weird to write on Facebook, you know, oh, hey guys, come out and see my show, The Pretty Pants Bandit. Yes. Wait a minute, you know?
But
so
you should.
It's opening night for this Pretty Pants Bandit, I think is what I wrote, something stupid like that. But anyways, but yeah.
Please go see your show. It runs 2 more weekends.
2 more
right?
weekends.
Yes.
We just closed our first week, and we have 2 more, Wednesday through Sunday.
Yes.
Pretty Pants Bandit at Georgia Ensemble Theater. Thank you, Skylar. Winning. I really want to see that, Megan. We should go.
Let's go.
We should go on a date.
Yeah.
We have dates.
We have dates. We do.
Yeah. Use it. Perfect. Guys, Skylar Brown. One more song. Thank you, Skylar.
Yeah, let's follow up a really funny short. Yeah. Great idea.
You got it.
Sad song.
I'm ready to be heard.
So one of my goals after was for 2020, LOL, was going to be that I was going to retire from theater and then focus on music. And then Horizon announced that they were going to do Once, which is, I was about to say at the time, it is my favorite show of all time. So I texted my brother, sidebar. We call it My Brother Skylar because my brother is in the band with me. He texted me randomly one day. He was like, I want to start a band with you called My Brother Skylar. And I was like, that's cute. I like that. And I'm like 99.9% sure there's not another My Brother Skylar band in the entire world. So we at least have that going for us. Back to the sidebar, which, I texted my brother. I was like, hey, I know I said 2020 for music. They're doing my favorite show. He was like, yeah, absolutely, go for it. 10 days after we closed Once, the pandemic started. So, so bought a whole bunch of equipment to record music at home. Got not great at it, but better than I thought I would. Still have not recorded anything, so that's the goal for this year now. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. No words. You set me up, I believe it every time. Same song and dance, same blood-red smile. You can find me where disappointment lives. Wrong choice between my head and my heart. I know what to expect every time that you're near, but your voice and your breath are all that I can feel. Everything is blocked out when your eyes lock with mine. I can feel a shiver traveling down my spine. Why can't I say no? Your lies always sound so right. Your bad always feels so good. Your up always keeps me down. I love you, but I don't want to. Fool me once, shame on you. I've lost count how many times I've played the fool. Why can't I just say no to your wicked tongue? I come at your beck and call, I'll always take the plunge. I know what to expect every time that you're near, but your voice and your breath are all that I can feel. Everything is blocked out when your eyes lock with mine. I can feel the shiver traveling down my spine. Why can't
Wonderful.
Inspiration, Jill.
It's time for our last storyteller role. So our final storyteller of the night, Topher Payne. Topher's first gig in Atlanta theater was here at Horizon, designing the set for the first production of the Santaland Diaries. I know, right? He returned 18 years later to play the role of Crumpet. Yes, yes. In between those two gigs, he wrote a whole bunch of plays and a handful of movies, directed some really great teams of artists, perfected his Julia Sugarbaker impression, and found his chosen family. Topher was the 2018 inductee into the Georgia Theater Hall of Fame. Yes! And he is currently a visiting professor of theater at Berry College. Please give it up for Topher Payne! Yes!
Oh, all right, I'm gonna keep these handy. Yeah, okay, because, yeah, I'm a teacher now, and you know what? That's really time-consuming. You make an assignment, and like 40 people send things back to you. So I'm like kind of off book, and we're gonna see how this goes, but hi, okay. Oh God, it's good to be back. Show of hands, who in here is currently or ever has been married? Show of hands. Okay, keep the hands up. If you've only been married once, put your hand down. If you've only been married twice, put your hand down. Oh, thank God. I love your optimism. So you can put your hands down. You have put enough effort into this world. My second marriage ended during the pandemic. No, seriously, it's okay. And now I'm running into colleagues that I haven't seen in person in 2 years, and I have that awkward moment when they ask me a really complicated question, like, what's new? Or, how's your husband? Look, the important thing to remember is your relationship is your relationship. What happened within your relationship or the ending of your relationship is nobody's business but yours. You do not owe anyone an explanation, ever. That said, let me explain. Okay, so I married for the first time at 29 on a beach in Massachusetts, long before it was legal here. He was and is the sweetest man, funny, Mississippi boy like me, the life of every party, even if there wasn't a party, especially when there wasn't a party. For the first 4 years that we were together because we wanted to be. The final 3 years that we were together because each of us worried that ending the marriage would hurt the other. He was the one to finally say that out loud. It was sad, but it was never regrettable. And then my friends told me, don't give up. You know, your true love is still out there. You just gotta keep trying. And so I did. I married again at 38. And this time I did the big wedding in Georgia, because you could do that now. And we had the dance floor and matching outfits and hundreds of people. There was a food truck. You know, I really question the wisdom of making the greatest commitment of your life on the same day that you throw a really big party. It splits your focus a little bit. The part of your brain that is supposed to be considering the commitment that you're making is in direct conflict with the part of your brain thinking, oh God, what if they don't like the cake? So, my parents eloped. They got 50 years. They never had the big party. My sister also eloped. She's been married 20 years now. And I thought of those things as I stood there on that day, looking out at this amazing party and wondering if I could just run away. But of course I couldn't, because I'd never lived that story down, and it would have been so messy. And what would become of my fiance? This was a man who would leave the house to go to the grocery store and come home with no food and $300 worth of crystals. Not the tiny hamburgers. We could have eaten those. I mean shiny fucking rocks. So I convinced myself that this person needed me. And if you squint hard enough, being needed almost looks like being loved. Been there? Yeah. That was a soul moment. Like this really down. Thank you. God, I miss theater. So I concentrated on my work, which I'm very good at doing, and I concentrated on my friends, which I'm very good at doing, and that sustained me until the pandemic hit, and suddenly we were locked down together. And boy, did I get to know him. In second marriages, the comparisons are always inevitable. My first husband loved the beach. My second husband was more of a mountain person. My first husband was a pescatarian. My second husband loved sausage and peppers. My first husband worked at the Gap. My second husband tried to stab me with a butcher knife when he became convinced that I had intercepted the box of old report cards and poems that he had mailed to Tracy Chapman, you know, from the 90s, in the hopes of collaborating with her on an album. He is not a musician. And then when she failed to respond to his generous offer of material, he sent her hundreds of emails, even after she begged him to stop and threatened legal action. I have no idea how that story ended. He never mentioned it while he was running around the house screaming obscenities in his underpants because Drew Barrymore was talking to him through the TV, but only during the daytime because at night, Debbie Harry was taking photographs through our front windows. And every time I went to the grocery store, I would come home to him accusing me of having sex with literally all of our friends, which is a generous assessment of my seductive powers in the abstract. But also, what the actual hell? And I couldn't skip the trips to the grocery store because obviously he couldn't go, shiny fucking rocks. And the only thing he would eat was kale chips and Jenny's ice cream, which has just ruined both of those things for me. And while the kale chips aren't much of a loss, the Jenny's is kind of a bummer. And sometimes I do get mad about him trying to kill me, but more often it's the little things like that that just piss me off because that is really good ice cream. So, 41, divorced again. My friends, my wonderful, generous, amazing friends told me to take time and heal. Maybe have sex with an interesting variety of people. If nothing else, I'd get to see some Atlanta apartments, and we all love seeing other people's apartments. They told me to try the apps, which made me nervous. I don't even like buying shoes online. But the last time I was single, the apps were skeezy, and now they're totally cool. Pete Buttigieg met his husband on an app, and those two are so wholesome when they fuck. That theme from Andy Griffith plays. So I tried the apps. And the most common pickup line I got was, "You're Topher Payne." This would be followed by them asking when I'm going to do Designing Women Live again, or sending me a picture of their penis, or both of those things. I ended up sleeping with the ex of one of my friends, which felt like one of those episodes of Law and Order where a guy played a dead body and then he comes back as a district attorney. And you're like, are we not supposed to notice that's the same guy? I called up a guy who hadn't seen me naked since I was in my 20s, thinking I could turn off the lights and he could just play that old tape without updating the visual. That worked out really well. So, I couldn't help but wonder, is this the fate of dating after a second divorce? Just sort of recycling. Those in the know kept saying, whatever you do, don't get married again. Divorced people said this. Married people said this. My mother said this. And that hurt my feelings. What is the note here? I'll be happier if I never try again, or maybe I'm not built for it. You know, when you screw up the first couple of pancakes, you don't throw out the batter and say, oh, I guess I don't deserve pancakes. And as all of this was happening, one night, a stranger liked one of my photos on Instagram, as all modern love stories begin. And he was cute, so I stalked him. His name is Charlie. His profile claimed he was a playwright. I was intrigued. Fun facts I learned later. Charlie had been a playwriting apprentice right here at Horizon. It's a very good program. Also, his pet peeve was telling people he was a gay playwright from Atlanta and having them say, you have got to tell this part. Charlie Cody, ladies and gentlemen. So you'd say you're a gay playwright from Atlanta, and they would say,
oh, like Topher Payne. Or, do you write like Topher Payne? Or, the best one, maybe you'll be the next Topher Payne. Like he's the Dalai Lama, and they're going to replace him one day with a new model.
Now, I knew none of this when we met online.
Technically, we actually met here for the first time. I had just turned 24, and I just moved back to Atlanta, which is where I'm from. But now I was back here with a degree in playwriting. And I was working for accountants. But I knew that I was going to apply to be an apprentice here, so I decided I would come and see the show they were doing, which was Santaland Diaries. And I wanted to see it, but like not enough to pay full price for it. So I volunteered as an usher. 24, I was good. I was paired with a self-proclaimed experienced volunteer who made me stuff all the programs. Well, the volunteer kept telling me about his close personal friendship with Topher Payne. Topher walks into the theater and is just trying to make a beeline for backstage, and the experienced volunteer stops him with a, hey, Topher, and Topher looks at him like he has just switched baristas. And in an effort to keep the conversation going, the volunteer asked Topher, do you know Charlie? And I watched this look of terror go across Topher's face that says, no, I don't know the twink stuffing programs. I don't even know you. But Topher recovered, and he did the move that he does when he has absolutely no idea if he's supposed to know you or not. As soon as he was gone, the volunteer looks at me, and this is completely true, and says, you should really write something like Topher. He's very popular. Which is exactly when I solidified my talking points as to why I am nothing like that sellout Topher Payne. A couple years later, when Topher slides into my Instagram DMs, I thought, is this your move? You find unknown 20-something playwrights and think they're gonna be impressed? Because you're you. Well, I'm not impressed. But I agreed to get a drink with them, because, I mean, he's Topher Payne, and that would be an interesting story, right? And one drink turned into a 24-hour-long first date. And by the end of that day, I was like, holy shit, I think I might be in love with that sellout Topher Payne.
Okay. So, yes, I fell in love with him so fast, which I kept to myself because my history. And I mean, gay guys had technically only been allowed to get married in Georgia since 2015, and I was already 0 for 2. And let's face it, nobody gets 3. Kardashians have 3rd marriages. Pamela Anderson, Billy Bob Thornton, yes, I have looked this up. Donald Trump is on a 3rd marriage. 3rd marriages are for messy people. Not to mention, I was ignoring the explicit advice of my friends that I was not to get serious about someone quickly. I was supposed to be banging my way through a whole bunch of interesting apartments. But I didn't want to. I had never felt this way about anybody before. I had never felt this way about myself with anyone else. When I met Charlie, I had been out of work for a year and a half. I write plays and movies, and we weren't doing those. So I was alarmingly broke. I had a crazy ex-husband who'd left me a little jumpy, and I had just moved 2 roommates and their 3-year-old daughter into my house, where I already had a dog and 2 cats, and my roommate found out she was pregnant, and they brought another dog. And Charlie saw all of this and made space for it with care, and it was the most attractive thing I had ever seen. I finally understood what people talk about when they talk about a soulmate. It's the person who makes you breathe easier when they walk in a room. You look at them and you see the future. You look at them and you see what's possible. So, I was with my first husband for 7 years. I was with my second husband for 7 years, felt longer. Charlie and I agreed that we would not get engaged until we'd been together for 7 years. And that way people would know that it's legitimate and we're not messy. Okay, we didn't have to wait 7 years to get engaged, but we would wait 7 years to get married. Or we would get married, but wait 7 years to tell anybody. So, once we came up with that plan, we just started proposing marriage several times a day. Walking down the aisle at Kroger, will you marry me? Driving down Ponce, will you marry me? This traffic is terrible, will you marry me? He would wake me up from a dead sleep, ask me to marry him, and go back to sleep. We asked and answered that question hundreds of times. I've never been so certain of anything in my life. And we realized the only thing that was keeping us from getting married was concern about how other people would react. And that's why we got married. At a picnic table in Candler Park on a Wednesday. We have been taking these rings off every time we come to Atlanta for months. We will eventually have the big party. We want the big party. We will not wait 7 years. We want to worry about cake. But right now, what we want, what we have, is a marriage. And we wanted to tell you here because it's where we met. Apparently. Thank you.
Megan said, just wait till Lisa hears it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes.
And she came in for rehearsal today, and I was like, and she came in for rehearsal today with Topher, and I'm like, oh, Lisa, don't you need to go home and do something? It's true, I do totally. Oh, yes.
So thank you, everybody. This is the set of The Light. If you have not seen The Light, it is just a beautiful, beautiful play. We all want you to
Let's see The Light.
The Light. And I want to thank my whole company here, and Brittany and Megan, who've been doing this starting in the pandemic, and we did it live, and now we're doing it live. And these are just really beautiful, beautiful stories. And I'm so happy to have Atlanta artists from all sectors visiting us here for Southbound. And so thank you all for being here with us.
Thank you, Lisa. We love you, Lisa and Jeff. We love Horizon.
Yes, our show will be available on YouTube on Friday. If you have a story that you want to share, please email us. Yes. Wait, I didn't even think about that. Sorry. Whoops. If you have a story that you want to share, please email southbound@horizontheater.com. And with that, I am Brittany.
And I'm Megan. And this was Southbound, True Life Tales.
From the ATL and beyond.
I'm not sure it's you.